go? You're the definition man. Go.
Well, it was coined by Humphrey Osmond in a correspondence, I believe, with Aldous Huxley. And it was, to fly the angelic, take a pinch of psychedelic. And so psychedelic literally means psyche or the soul, or consciousness. Delic is dilation. So the dilation or expansion of the mind or soul. So that's the literal translation. What it's become is a cultural movement, and that's gone through many waves. And what the discovering of the psychedelic by Dr. Hoffman 71 years ago, he discovered LSD on April 19th. It is April still, and 71 years later, and now we have a psychedelic exhibition here. What happens in the wake of the psychedelic experience is that it's a very visionary experience. It brings people in contact with their creative imagination, or with what Blake called the divine imagination. So when you dilate the psyche or dilate the soul, then you're getting in contact with a spiritual element within the self. You're discovering your soul. And this is why people feel that this is a sacrament. And indeed, the history is that the psychedelics, like the psilocybin mushroom, peyote cactus, the iboga plant, marijuana, the really many of these plants, salvia, these are plant teachers. They're ways that for thousands of years human beings have had a relationship with these sacred plants. It's only in the past few thousand years that they've been outlawed. And we're coming to discover the suppression of the sacrament. It was at the foundation of both Eastern and Western civilization. And it's part of the pharmacopoeia of all the great civilizations. So what's happening now is that we're reconnecting with sacramental roots. And the psychedelic was not a style that just happened in the 60s and kind of faded out and is being resurrected now and again as a kind of a retro, cool thing to do. My position on psychedelics is that they were at the foundation of human civilization, and that they may have been at the roots of art itself. Reputable anthropologists are now saying that perhaps it was using psychedelics by the dawn humans that started cave art. So this is a legitimate theory in many journals today. And the scientists have verified the legitimacy of the mystical experience that is engendered by psychedelics. Psychedelics have been healing people for thousands of years, and it's time that we come out of the closet and embrace them as one of the miracles in our midst. Well, I think that absolutely the more people that have the psychedelic experience, the more art that you're going to see about it, because it's natural for artists to want to evoke it in their work after they've had this experience. For some artists, it becomes the subject of their work. Like in my case, my psychedelic experience led to it turned me on to the existence of a spiritual world that I didn't know existed. And so it's been a deep part of my life. But so has meditation. So is the study of Buddhism and the study of comparative religion. art I see as a spiritual practice and a way to ground the visions and a way to literally bring heaven to earth. Because this is what we're seeing. We're experiencing heaven in our visions. And the visionary artist or the psychedelic artist has then the challenge to try and bring heaven to earth.
I was going to say that people have come to spirit. We've noticed that a lot of people have come to spirit through even only one experience of psychedelics. That it changes people. That it changed both of us, and that's really what brought us together. It was that story, that that we were existentialistic, nihilistic politicos, that were basically hardcore, and then tripped, and then saw God, and then changed. We had a spiritual life, on the other side. So that's what brought us together, and so many people that we got to know in other communities had that experience. So I feel it's a little bit like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Everybody's gathering together around this experience that they shared.
It's an experience of light, it's an experience of love, and this is why the hippies were kind of the love tribe, and today it's worldwide. It's not just something that happened and died. It's actually something that happened and then dispersed, went into the fabric of society and emerged like the mycelium. The mushroom is a great example because the mushroom is really the fruit. It's what pops up out of the ground. The body of the mushroom is underground. So the underground movement, the mycelial body or the mycelial intelligence of the underground network that is the psychedelic network exists already on a planetary scale. It's part of the festival culture. It's part of the visionary art. Those are the mushrooms. They pop up. But the mycelium, the underground intelligence, is worldwide. So this is the seed, I think, of a planetary civilization. And the young people, the art today has gone deeper and gone farther and is more rich and more intelligent than any of the psychedelic art that's happened so far. It's getting better and better, and more media are also being brought into the whole equation. So, and with computer graphics, we've got the skills and the technology to portray the inner dimensions.
The work that you'll see of mine in the show, there's the work that's in the book. The work that's represented in the book is fairly a broad spectrum of my work. It does include the three basic elements of my work, which is chaos, order, and secret writing. And chaos is a symbol system that I created to represent that we are systems that are breaking down. Systems and entropy. Order plus entropy equals chaos. So then there's the symbol that I created for order, which is the bliss realms, the interconnected fountains and drains of light that we experience when we're on psychedelics, or on spontaneous feelings of unity, experiences of unity. But anyway, that's the order realm. Then there's secret writing, and secret writing speaks to our being symbol makers. All of my mouth noises are symbols that we agree upon and understand. And all of the work and everything that I wear and everything in the manifest universe that comes in as a thought and comes out as a thing is a symbol. So that exists between the worlds of chaos and order. It comes in as divine. It comes out as material. So there is this window, and that's what symbols are. And so that's my statement. I received that statement while I was doing LSD, and I've made that my committed statement throughout my career of 40 years as a professional artist. That's right. Yes. Well, if you do print it out.
Our minds are 3D printed. Yeah.
Or our hands are, you know. The mind's the application, or the programmer, I guess, or the program, perhaps. So my artwork that's here is called Saint Albert and the LSD Revelation Revolution, and it was a painting done in honor of Albert Hoffman's discovery of LSD and his birthday in 2006 when he turned 100. And we went to Basel, Switzerland. There was a big celebration, and he signed the back of the painting. And so, to me, this makes it a relic. Here was the man who discovered LSD. I did a portrait of him, and he signed the back of it. And so, for me, that it converts it into a special object, you know. And I did LSD during part of the painting while I was painting the little guy on the bicycle. There was a reference to Dr. Hoffman's bicycle day experience. Around Dr. Hoffman, you'll see many of the giants of psychedelic history, and Maria Sabina, who handed Gordon Wasson the psychedelic mushroom that later Dr. Hoffman analyzed as psilocybin, dubbed psilocybin. So there's a lot of history in it, including Sasha Shulgin and his wife Anne, who is another psychedelic chemist. And I did do another painting of Sasha and Anne, and that is a print which they signed. It's the Shulgins and their alchemical angels. They're cradling an MDMA molecule. Dr. Hoffman is holding an LSD molecule. And so these are direct references to what I think are kind of portals to angelic dimensions. And it's a new kind of religious connection for humanity that came about through a test tube.
Alyson, we love you. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to just tell everyone that we can be found at COSM. COSM, it stands for Chapel of Sacred Mirrors, and you can find us at cosm.org, O-R-G. And COSM is in the Hudson Valley. It is a beautiful, beautiful retreat to go for artists and musicians and all kinds of people who love art. And it has 40 wooded acres to walk through, and we can stay overnight there, 365 nights a year in our beautiful Victorian guest house. And we have lots of guests. We have celestial events. We have full moon ceremonies. So when you're in the Hudson Valley area of New York, that beautiful place where the Hudson River School began, the first American art movement began in the Hudson River Valley, come to see us at COSM and enjoy the beauty, the seasons of New York. So we'd love to see you. We love LA, but we love New York, and come and visit us.